Right, we'll try again. Sorry. Didn't stop the recording. I just closed it down. Right. For those of you who don't know, there's a page called the Paul Dakers Page on Facebook, which I used to do. All my Twitter stuff used to come through to that, but I'm not allowed to do that anymore, apparently. So now I do the occasional political article, and I boost it as you can on Facebook because it costs like £6. And the one about the police, I think I did, has had over 2,500 views or reads, maybe, and actually generated some quite abusive comments in my direction. So I'm going to read this now because they won't let me boost it now. I have to move heaven and earth and go through all sorts of ID checks and everything else to do it. So it's really not worth it. I'd rather just read it out on here. Do you know what I mean? And it was about the vote of no confidence in Theresa May. So you're going back to the 13th, and that was the day after, 13th of December. I don't believe there was a vote concerning Theresa May last night. The curtains were drawn so as the cameras couldn't see in, and why not have it in the chamber of the House of Commons, televised? What must be so secret about choosing a leader of the controlling party, brackets which the Tories are not incidentally, who will inevitably become Prime Minister? We've seen this secrecy before, of course. Keir Starmer and a few others have allegedly had confidential meetings with people, brackets unidentified, in Brussels, and when questioned about it seemed to consider such secretive doings quite acceptable, even when the issue concerned is Brexit, wanted by the public and concerning the public greatly. But then this is the problem. MPs now think they can do what they want. Mortgage flipping, claiming for duck houses and porn, renting out a second home while they claim expenses for hotel rooms, the legendary £39 breakfast allegedly had by Ian Duncan Smith, the no-smoking law decided upon and brought in by MPs even though no public request had been made, and much more, really. Since the day of Blair, in fact, MPs consider themselves unaccountable to any law and certainly untouchable by such. Blair invented weapons of mass destruction, after which a scientist who disputed their existence mysteriously died. But then the human life means little to these people. So much so, the Tories carried on where Labour left off and sanctioned benefits for such heinous crimes as being a minute late for an interview at the benefits office. People have died because of it. No, the Tories in particular are more concerned with their pay rises, going to the lengths of, after the expenses scandal, installing IPSA, who handily grant a pay rise every time the issue comes up. Luckily, it was written into the IPSA contract that MPs had to agree with their findings. There were, of course, all those MPs who went to prison for deliberate financial fraud and theft from the public purse. Oh wait, no, the police refused to investigate any of them. And that isn't really a surprise. It just expands the secrecy which we see, or rather don't see, in such minor matters as electing, and I use the word lightly, a Prime Minister who could, for example, decide to fire a nuclear missile at a foreign country. Nothing to worry about there, obviously. There was, incidentally, for those of you who don't remember, an absolute uproar of disgust from the Tories when Brown slipped into Blair's shoes. It didn't seem to bother them so much when May did it post-Cameron. But then it didn't seem to bother anyone, did it? I don't remember a squeak from Labour when Cameron toddled off into the sunset and May swanned into the sunlight. Or danced, should I say. So why would they have a vote regarding May? They don't need to. Leadership, laws, murder, promotion and meetings about Brexit are all issues they consider they can decide upon themselves. If they don't like a story or the likely outcome of it, they just get some of their jolly chums like Lord Hutton to slap a 70-year media blackout on it. So no, there was no vote, just a gathering of chums, more than likely guzzling champagne and caviar at the taxpayers' expense, all slapping each other on the back and laughing at the deluded Joe public, while they probably chucked about more utterly insane ideas about how they could enslave the public at large by inventing a load of laws which MPs, lords, ladies, police and council employees will never adhere to. Night down in Freemasons Lodge, Charles. Sounds wonderful, old chap. Which way was I supposed to have voted again? Because I'm too bloody pissed to remember what I told the news crews. Lucky they can't see in. So there you go. I don't know what's so fucking controversial about that. There's nothing I haven't said before. either on here or on Facebook or on Twitter. I mind you, the video about the CPS did get banned in 27 countries because it showed them up to be a bunch of lying, hypocritical, thieving bastards who manufactured evidence. Actually, no, I don't know if they're thieves. They are by taking their salary, but they certainly condone theft from the public purse because they didn't want it coming out in court, the story. In fact, I wasn't allowed to give any evidence in court, ever. Who needs a fucking democracy, eh? I'll see you all later.